I didn't.
Like anything else.
Yes.
Saturday, so this is a note for her. Okay. Okay.
You all, as we gather on this congregation will make, if they'd like to do that, we're going to.
Doing something else. So the next thing is
Clothing, but any items that you think other people might treasure, then we would love to have those. Thanks so much.
I just want to say, when I saw this come out with the bulletin, that I thought it was a great idea. In fact, I was asking Noel who came up with this idea and where did it come from. I thought maybe your, what's he called from the Smith, the person who's helping you.
the Presbytery moderator.
I thought possibly the Presbytery moderator had come up with this, and Noel said no, it came from him, his idea. You'll be seated, and join me in the call to confession found in your bulletin. As we try to grow toward righteousness, we present ourselves to God in a spirit of honesty.
Maybe where still may sin and death, instead of goodness, shower us with steadfast
More than we trust you. Our strength. Provision for us. Helping your mom with her garden? Are you? Kind of. Okay, volleyball and gymnastics. About the same. Good for you. I didn't know what we're doing, which is a good thing. We are so grateful those that are part of this congregation, and we pray, Lord, particularly those children that we might enter your kingdom.
Oh, the Lord is for pain, leads to remain. Oh, and I am now. When trouble here in the side with me. raise me up. Life without its fall. Victory with honor. You raise me up. You raise me up. You raise stand on mount. Raise me up. Honor. You raise me up.
Scripture reading is from Psalm 24, verses 1 through 6. Who shall ascend the hills? Does not swear deceitfully. Such is the general. And from James chapter 3. Selfish ambition in your heart, but is earthly, and selfish ambition exists. But the wisdom from above is first open to reason, full of mercy or insincerity. And not what goes defiles a person. Pharisees were offended when they plant which my heavenly Father has not blind guides, and if a will fall into a pit. Peter said to him, explain the parable. But what comes out of the mouth? And this defiles a person. False witness, slander, these does not defile. Came to him, and there was a New York Times bestseller, and it was a fascinating study with over 200 in study. One had the study included some well-known Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, Lance Armstrong, and even my it was like, but mostly numbers of successful people's educators, so chefs, people from all church asked the question, The first hurdle that the answer to the question was this. They began to interview people. They very quickly position, money, prestige, because they came to learn, defined by what each individual, rather than by any societal definition, commonalities about their, that the successful person they did. The feel of the equipment, just because it was. Is that how you feel about it? Love the swing, right? That person loved everything about writing. To paper. Do you love it, right? You would do it. If you had a company when he was so with leadership responsibility, sometimes he found it exciting. They were not paid to do it. People, they were ordinary people. An initial motivating factor. Without a money motive, blessed are the pure in heart. So what is this? What would you think if heart is not one of the most pretty major people did not achieve perfection. He began with an idea that excited of rapid experiments. He was smart enough would not put him under. Go forward, as the expression goes. Never failing. Endeavor, they were engaged. We won't ask Dr. Woods how many times. Translated as heart in this beatitude. Meaning embodied the whole thus Jesus inside you. That's your heart. As well. The purity of heart can be a little tricky, right? I think when we hear the phrase purity of heart, it can have a connotation of very high standards of perfection. But you should be perfect. That's pure of heart. No mistakes, no sin, no screwing up, no bad behavior. Be pure of heart, right? But what if instead of thinking about purity of heart as an end state, we thought about purity of heart as intention, as motive,